me only go. Just a moment. I'm go to a bottle of water. I will need it. Sorry, I forgot.
Hello, viewers. Hope you all are fine and having the best time, staying safe at your home. Today we have a guest from Portugal
Sorry.
with us.
Here I am. Okay.
Welcome, Mr. Paulo Torcato from Portugal, Lisbon.
It's a pleasure to be here to talk with you a little bit about my activity. Thank you for inviting me.
Thanks to you. Mr. Paulo is an educationist for last 30 years, and his specialty is robotics. And we requested him to speak to us on the topic so viewers can have more information about very interesting topic because the robots are, in the market nowadays. They are doing a kind of amazing things from in different walks of life. So, sir, welcome. First of all, I would like to know about you. Where were you born, your early education, and then how did you come to this field of education?
Yes, I was born in Caracas, Venezuela. I'm not Portuguese. I came here to study. Uh, my parents were Portuguese, and then I came to the university here. I did my studies in Venezuela, and then I came here to the university. I study electronic engineering and then applied math. With applied math, informatics, and applied math, and I was working uh, in engineering for a few years, but I don't know why. I never thought I will be a teacher, and then when I was in a transition from uh, a place to another, to work in another. An old teacher from mine told me he needs a teacher and must be me. I said something wrong. I don't want to be a teacher. You must try. You will be a wonderful teacher. I want you think about it and then tell me. Then in 1989, I tried. I thought, why not? I will try. And then I start teaching math and ICT in the school of my old teacher. And then since there, I don't want to do nothing but teacher because I love it. Uh,
Uh-huh.
and I started teaching math and ICT and programming. And now I only teach ICT and robotics in school. I use educational robotics to teach kids and to to teach math and physics with robots.
Wow, that's really amazing, really interesting. And I guess your teacher just, saw the quality of a teacher in you, so he recommended you to join as a educationist
I
as a
think
teacher.
so. I never thought to be a teacher because uh, since I start to work as an engineer, engineering thing, I like to build things, to do projects, not to teach. And when the first time they told me I will be a good teacher, I thought they were crazy because my thing was to projects to build electronic equipments and something. And then here I am 30 years later teaching and teaching and teaching.
Wonderful, wonderful, really great. Uh, Mr. Paulo, I would like to know about the robotics, the basics of robotics. What is robotics actually?
Okay. My thing, yeah, I work with educational robotics. When you think about a robot, you think about something will do a work for you. You can program it to do things, and it will be useful for something. With my kids, I use project-based learning with educational robotics. The kids think about a real-life problem to solve, and they try to build a robot to solve the problem. Okay, it's a prototype, not a real thing, but the main focus is for them to develop skills, thinking skills, project skills. Okay, let's say 21st century skills now, and I want them to work as a team and to project something to solve problems. It's not the robot for the robot only to have it, to program it. No, we must build something to solve a problem. A few years ago, my primary students did a robotic arm for two special need kids to play with the robot for them to be easier to play. My basic school student, did a robot guide for a museum for people who have mobility problems, could stay, and the robot will go around to see the museum, and they can see all the things in the tablet. I have big ones. They did a small robot, a baby bed to see if the baby is breathing, if has fever, with sensors and something. The main focus for me with robots in school is to do something useful to solve real life problems. For the kids, it will be good because they will know what is a project, how to do a project, how to work in groups, to collaborative work, how to program, how to solve physics and math problems. Because if you are building a robotic arm like this, you can put here a lot of weight, and the arm will do like that and will fall. And they have to think all about it. And they are learning math and physics without the obligation to learn. They learn because they need, and it will be an easy process of learning.
Wow, it's really amazing. It's really very interesting, and it makes learning quite interesting, especially for the children of young age. It is quite exciting, isn't it?
Yes, and a few years I have been working. It was unexpected because I started teaching this way in 2008 because my school we received an email from university in Lisbon because they were starting a project with secondary schools with robots with Lego NXT robots, and they were invited. And my headmaster, it was Manuela, uh, printed the mail and told me, "You go." She don't said, "See if it's interesting." You go, because she thought and she knew that I would like to be in there. I was there. We started with the 12th grade kids with robots. And uh, when I was working with the olders, they were doing a lot of interesting things. With the robots, we have only one robot at now because they were expensive. and we were thinking what to do. And when the elders were working with the robots, I have every Wednesday about 8 or 9 kids from 7 to 9 grade in the door, seeing and ask me all the time. And for us, no robots. Yeah, I said I will arrange to put you there because at that time I thought it will be better use robots for the big ones, the olders. But the interesting was one of the kids. It was my son. And in Christmas, I bought a robot. I put the robot in the school. I told the kids, you can use it if you want to think about the project. And the kids, with no teaching, only for themselves, they have planned what to do, what kind of project, everything, and they did a project. We applied with that project with zero intervention for me, and we applied for a national science contest, and they won second place, 5,000 euros, and we bought a lot of robots that start. Okay, and I saw the potential of using robots with the youngers. And I asked the headmaster to put robotics in school with for 7 and 8 grade. The pedagogical council said yes, and since there I was teaching the youngers. And in school we have a lot of students. They don't care about school. They want to leave school. They don't like the usual way of learning, and they were disapproving all the time. And we did we talked with the headmaster, and we did a special class with 20-22 kids who were disapproving a lot. Last class I have 22, 8 disapproved the same year, 4 years in a row, 8 3 years in a row, and 6 2 years in a row. And we put them in a class and we teach them with projects. They think about a problem. They have to work in Portuguese, in English, science, history, geography, math, physics, programming, robotics, and everything, and they have to build the project. The main focus with the robots in the project is to motivate the kids for keep going and studying and everything. And I can tell you, it was a pleasure to work 3 years in a row with 3 different classes, because in the first they were 20, 19 finished basic school, and in this 19, 15 finished secondary school without disapproving anymore, because they found that, okay, actually I'm good, I can think, I can do things, I'm special, I did a lot of projects, and I keep going in life. That's the good thing for doing different, no? Because in this world, when we were in school with 12 for 13 14 years, we play football and in the school and everything. Now they have the world in the hand, and we must teach different, because we have different kind of students. That's my way of thinking. That's why I use robotics to put them thinking and going and developing skills and everything.
Amazing. It's really amazing. And especially hearing this thing that robots have made students more interested in their studies. It's really, really great thing because traditional, please.
Yes, and I used the interesting thing was in these kids we thought were the all these kids thought we are the worst of the school. Nobody don't cares. We are just one more. They found they were not one more. They were specials, and I took them to my classes in third grade and fourth grade as mentors for the small ones with 8, 9, 10 years old, and they were on my classes helping me as mentors, each student with a group of 4 or 5 kids, and they were helping the kids to program and to do things. They thought, okay, I'm useful, I can learn and I can teach. I will be someone in life. I must go on and I want to go on and study, not leaving school. That was my idea with this kind of project.
Wow, really, it's amazing. It's really very interesting. And I'm sure that even the government needs to be thankful and government needs to adopt such kind of strategies where the dropout rate can be just, eliminated by introducing such kind of interactive and really practical approach kind of things like robotics like you have done in your school.
Yes, here now there is a national program to teach robotics and programming since first grade to 12th grade. Okay, it was starting the general director of education here uh, was talking with me. He appreciates my work because I knew it from a long time before he were in this position. We were talking about what to do to improve teaching with this. And I know it's appreciated in school, in the community, because uh, when I started the project, I knew it was a different thing. I knew uh, I will try to do something useful, but I didn't knew, is that true? Is that really useful? And I only found that because one day I started in 2008, was about 2011. I received a phone call from an institution telling me your project won the second place award in pedagogical innovation because it's very good. And I said, whoa, I'm doing really something different and I can use it. And all the things were happening with the project was like this. I was conducting the project as I thought it will be better, but I didn't know if it was good or no. But when I was receiving some awards, some invitation to events, and some kind of things, I knew I'm doing the good thing and it will help the kids.
Surely, surely, definitely, it is helping. Mr. Paulo, this is all about your telling us about your personal experiences. How did you use the robotics in education? Somehow, it is just like revolutionize the things, the way of teaching in your institution. My question to you is that how the robots have done a great impact in our lives. I'm just talking about the bigger prospect
Yes,
because
yes, yes.
every year you find that the robots are, taking the place of man, taking the place of humans.
Uh, but if a robot are taking a place of human, but you have we must have humans to build and program it. We have a transition. If you are using robots to take the place of man in some work, you must have a few more men to program and to do everything to build this robot, and the is not a question of taking place. It's a question of moving things. Okay, the professions, the works are changing. Okay, if you create a robot, as I saw in Estonia, to you call and you ask for something from the store, the robot will pick the things and take it to your house. You must only open the robot, take your things, and then the robot goes. You don't need people to go there. It is cheaper than paying someone, but you must have engineers, programming, a few professionals to assemble the robot, and the work, the professions are changing in the world, and we have to adapt to that situation. It's not the question the robot will come, no work for people, only work for work. No, we are moving the kind of activities the humans do to adapt the situation, because in some ways the robot will do faster and better than humans, but we have to have humans to monitorize the robot activity, to seize everything, and it's a question of changing the thing and not finishing with man's work.
Great, great. Mr. Paulo, how do you think about, in the new era, artificial intelligence is, growing and growing. Do you think this AI, artificial intelligence, is going to be very helpful for the advanced robotics?
I think it will be very, very useful, because uh, the robots now, if you don't use AI, you must program the robot one way. If the robot has AI, can learn something, can react, and it will be easier to program the things and to put the robot doing different things and learning. Now I'm doing a course about AI for kids. I will put my small kids programming like Scratch with AI to identify something. And for example, with AI, we can put the computer or the robot learning to react, and there is we call it machine learning. Okay, and if the computer, the robot learns something, can react and can help us to solve some problems. I think it will be very, very useful.
Wow, wow, that's great. And we are hopeful that, the same robots can be that much advanced that they can be doing great jobs, like, they can take part in the medical field, they can be taking part in engineering, they can be also helpful in, cleaning our environment, they can be helpful, for giving us the pure water, they can be helpful in different other things. We can utilize them for the goodness for the mankind.
Yes, yes. There is a lot of researchers here working with nanobots, working with small fish bots, to try with bee bots, with small ones like bees, to try to see how can we help the environment with the small bots to improve things and to put this world better. That's what I like to do. My projects are solving problems. Not we do small prototypes, okay, but the main idea is it will be useful for the world.
definitely. And the same children who are learning these robotics at the school level, when they will reach to the college and university, they can create amazing things because they will have the strong foundation. They would be understanding from the very basic level. And once they grow up in the same field, they can really be the excellent
because
in that.
robotics help the kids to learn how to solve problems, the way they think, the computational thinking and everything. They will help the kids uh, to grow up solving problems, collaborative work, and everything. When you go from the school to the real life, you will, if you are going to an enterprise to work, you will have a group. You don't know the people there. It's your first time, and you have to work in a group with them. In this kind of projects, the kids have to learn how to work in a group, how to hear, how to collaborate, and they do. If I fail, all the group will fail. In your work is the same. If you are doing a project in a group, if you don't do your part, the group can fail. And in the project they are doing in class, it's the same thing. And I think this kind of way of teaching will help the kids uh, to go further. And in real life, after in the university, they work with a lot of projects in every subject, but in real life, it will be very, very useful.
Right, Piers. We are just having Mr. Paulo, Torcato. Sorry, Mr. Paulo. I think there was an internet speed. We are back again. Please do continue.
No problem, no problem. I saw there is a problem with the sound first, and then no, I was waiting, no problem. I was saying that school now is more than teaching the regular thing. We must prepare kids for life. It's not only to teach math and go the equation, to teach them what is a cell, what is when what happened in the Second World War, or where is the Himalaya thing. No, we must prepare them for life. They must to learn. They must to learn how to apply what they learn in their life, and to stimulate kids' creativity. That's very, very important to do. Some the projects will stimulate the creativity of kids, and small kids are very, very creative. And I think the robots, the programming, it's very, very useful to stimulate kids' creativity, students' creativity, because they do special things when they are stimulated for that.
Wow, that's really great. And I'm sure that in the education system now, such kind of technologies are needed to be implemented. Such technologies are needed to be used. So our children, our young generation, next generation can have the strong kind of foundation, so they can definitely become the, as you said, they can be using these things in surviving, in living a good life. They can be inventors, they can be really doing something marvelous, and it is a lot more than that conventional education we used to have.
Yes, if they don't become engineers or something, this kind of learning will help them in the future as users. Okay, we don't know if where they are going to work, but if they learn to program, they learn something. When they are in work, they will know how to follow instructions, because uh, a program is a set of instructions the computer must do in sequence. Okay, and if they learn how to do, it will be easier for them how to read it, how to know if I fail a thing, the process, it will be wrong. It for life, the programming is very useful. It's and with robots, it's not the same program uh, a character to move in the screen. For it's different if you program a robot to move around and to do things. It's stimulating uh, to have a small bot doing something, and the kids, my kids, the special ones, we were keeping failing a lot in school, disapproving. Uh, sometime they said, "Okay, there is a robot. I build it and I program it. It's not the best, but it's mine, and it was my work." That was very good for me.
Wow, amazing, really, it's really interesting. uh, Mr. Paulo, thanks for your a lot of time, valuable time, precious time, and definitely we will be coming back to you again and again with some relevant to
Okay,
robotics about your at the end of the day,
okay,
especially
thank
I
you.
would say for the students of the world, for the youth of the world.
Uh, they can has said someone very known in the world. Yes, we can. They can do difference. They can be the difference, and they must find uh, special things and do it. Don't be afraid to try. If the first time goes wrong, try the second, the third. It's not important how many times you fail. It's important how many times you try. Uh, my kids, the project, all the projects, not all the projects were successful, but the most important for the kids was how many times they tried, they solved the problems, and they did their best. Uh,
Right. Mr. Paulo Torcato with us, an educationist and the an expert in robotics, and is our guest today. And the last message is really very powerful for us all, that never ever give up. It does not mean that you fail once, twice, or 10 times. rice or for your institution, for your family, and for your nation. Mr. Paulo Torcato, thank you very much for being the guest today and enlightening us. We will see you very soon. You before we came live. We invited you formally as well to visit Pakistan and be our guest and see the people around, and we definitely visit the educational institutions around and see the how the things are going on, and definitely listen from your experiences as well.
Okay, thank you very much, and I invite you to explore a little bit my YouTube channel and to see the video of the robotics projects with the small ones and the older ones. I think uh, you can go for 5 minutes into my classes and to see more and the way I'm working. Thank you very much for inviting. It was a pleasure to be here today talking about my experience. It was a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please stay with
Uh,
me.
okay. Okay. I'm
Offline